Hey everyone, this is Katie and Now from Now Your Auntie's blog, and today we're going to be sharing with you one of our favorite summertime cocktail recipes.
Today we're going to be making a blackberry and pineapple mojito. So we always tend to have a windowsill garden, and mint is always a staple in our kitchen. So we like to highlight some fresh mint with a mojito. And blackberry and pineapple is kind of combining our two favorite fruits. So to start off, the ingredients that you'll need, your fruit, your pineapple, and your blackberry. So I have some cubed here for the pineapple, and then some fresh blackberries already set aside for what we need for the recipe. Some fresh mint and lime wedges. A little bit of water with sugar to make a quick simple syrup in the microwave, and then your white rum and your soda water. So those are kind of the staple ingredients that you could need. You can play with what you want to put in it if you want to switch the fruits up and whatnot. So for starters, to start off the recipe, we have found that the best way to get the pineapple flavor into a drink is to puree it. So we use our little NutriBullet blender and puree about a cup of pineapple to start things off. We are going to be straining ours at the end, so we're going to mix it up in our little mixing cup from our cocktail set here. If you don't have this, you can really use any container as long as it's big enough to fit all of the ingredients in. So we'll start by putting the pureed pineapple in here.
So for those of you that might not know, this is our first actual video for the Not Your Auntie's blog, and so all of our recipes as we go through this will be posted on that blog, so you can check that out there and kind of follow along there as well.
Right. So if you miss a measurement, or if I happen to not say it, everything will be available on the website. So once your pineapple is in the glass that you're using to mix, I'm going to add the blackberries. So we've kind of found the easiest way to measure these out, more than measuring about a cup or something like that, is just to count out how many that you need. So we're trying to make about 2 cocktails here. So we have 12 blackberries in this little bowl here. So we put those in. I always start by putting the fruit in, and then adding the whatever herbs or whatever else might be added to it. So I have about 10 leaves from our mint plant that we're going to be putting in here, and then we'll muddle everything together with the help of a little bit of lime juice. You want to squeeze one wedge in there and then drop it in. That just gets the juice started coming out of it. I always throw the whole thing in because then you get a little bit of flavor maybe from the zest or from whatever juice might be left in the lime. So we have a muddler again from our cocktail set. If you don't have a muddler, you can use a wooden spoon or a thicker spoon, and it'll work in pretty much the same way. You can't see as much what's going on in the bottom of the glass when we're using this, but you kind of want to muddle until you feel the blackberries are all broken up. So you'll see parts of the blackberries coming to the surface of the pureed pineapple, and then everything's kind of going to settle at the bottom. With the pureed pineapple, you can't even see through it in a glass.
So if you guys can't hear, our puppy Sammy was going to make an appearance at some point in some of our videos, is getting some energy right now and is getting the zoomies. So if you hear some barking, that is Sammy saying hi to you all right now.
Alright, so this feels like it's muddled pretty well. So I'm going to take this out and set it off to the side here. The next thing that you want to add is going to be your simple syrup and your alcohol. So for the simple syrup, I have another simple syrup recipe on the blog already. This is a quick version of a simple syrup where we're making just what we need for this recipe. So it's about a tablespoon of sugar for each drink with a tablespoon of water. So you always want to do equal parts sugar and water. And this is one that you actually just zap in the microwave for 10 to 15 seconds at a time until you see the water's dissolved. So it's just to add a little sweetness to the drink. You can pour that in there.
And so for the liquor, we've actually today chosen Bacardi Limon, and so this again will bring some of your lemon flavor to the mint cocktail as well, in addition to the lime that Katie has already added. And we're doing about a half a cup or 4 ounces. And this is measured based on the fact that, you know, we're right now making it for 2 people. And so it's basically 2 ounces per drink.
Right. Now, so normally making a quick cocktail, we would actually use the little shot glass from our cocktail kit. This was just easier to measure out in the half cup measuring cup. So we'll pour that in there.
And while Katie's getting this ready, I'm gonna get some ice for our drinks.
So we can stir this together, and then we'll add the ice to, pour some right in there. All right. So when you go to shake up the cocktail, you want a good seal around the top of the lid. You can do this with 2 glasses. You might have seen that if you've seen anyone make a cocktail on TV or at the bar. You want a good seal, and then you kind of go until that ice is distributed enough that this is starting to get a little condensation on it. You can feel how cold it's getting on your hand there. So it shouldn't actually take very long for that to get cool. And the longer you leave it there closed, the harder this might be to come off of it as it changes as the metal is cooled down. We are straining ours, so again, we have a cocktail strainer that came with our kit here. We have a lot of different strainers that you can use, whatever you have available in your kitchen. You probably could even just use whatever you used as a cover on this to just strain some of it out. We do make cocktails without straining it at times. It just leaves that fruit in the bottom that's already broken up, and we prefer to have, like, we'll throw a few maybe cubes of the pineapple and then a few whole blackberries in. We kind of prefer that over the broken up pieces.
So in our family, Katie's actually the bartender. So a lot of the recipes that you guys will see on our blog are going to be actually developed and posted by her. And so that's, and on the other side, some of our food recipes are going to be developed and posted by me. So Katie, do you have, how do you measure out kind of how much you're putting in there? Is that to your preference of the individual that's making it, or?
So sometimes to the preference, since the alcohol is in this part of what we're making the cocktail with, really the only thing left to add is your soda water or whatever carbonated water that you're planning on adding to top it off. A lot of what I do for this part is just dependent on how many drinks I'm trying to make from this, so how many glasses I have to divide it up in between. And then I usually bounce back and forth to get a somewhat even amount between each glass. You might see me kind of turning this one way or another, so the ice might solidify a little bit. So it's good to get whatever mix is left underneath there. And then you also get, if I pull this off here, you can see that kind of this gets all caught up with some of the fruit that's coming from the bottom. So sometimes it strains a little bit better on the other side if you've already strained a lot out of one side.
And so as Katie mentioned, you can top this off with either, you know, club soda, or for me, my preference is actually a seltzer. And so the one that I picked out today is just a seltzer water that has a little bit of lemon lime flavor to it. So that's what I'll be using for mine, and then Katie will be topping hers off with the club soda.
Yes. This part is also kind of to your preference as well. So to top off this whole drink, you're gonna have a lot of soda water added to it, or seltzer. So I would suggest maybe like a 50-50 ratio at the most. You don't want to dilute it too much with the soda water because it's going to lose some of that good fruity flavor that you have in there. Alright.
As you can see, I prefer mine a little bit more than Katie in terms of the volume of water that we added there. But
I don't drink a lot of carbonated drinks, so I like it a little lighter on the carbonation. So the last couple things that we'll do here is just add, we like that fresh fruit that we like to eat at the end of the cocktail. So we'll add a couple pieces of pineapple to each.
Blackberries.
All right, and then we each usually take a lime wedge to put on there. Depending on how much lime we have in the house is how big the wedge might be. So squeeze a little bit of that in. I'm just gonna drop mine right in the glass. All right.
And so this is our favorite, like I said, our favorite summertime cocktail, the Blackberry Pineapple Mojito. It's really easy to make, as you can see. Clearly Sammy was really excited about it as well. So cheers and let us know what you think.